Hey there! Let's have a look at the profiling options in Writer. The application that I have here is a Sudoku solver, and what it does is when we run it, it will try and solve the Sudoku that we can see on screen here. This one was fairly simple and it was solved in 130,000 steps and in less than half a second. Now let's make this a little bit more interesting by adding some additional zero values so that our Sudoku is more complex and our Sudoku solver will take a longer time to solve it. Let's run it again, and we'll see that indeed it will take much longer to solve this Sudoku. The reason for that is that we are brute forcing the puzzle and we are trying all of the different cells, all of the different combinations, and then checking if it is a valid solution or not. And as we can see, this one did take longer, and we now have a Sudoku that was solved in over 3 million steps and close to 12 seconds. So that's longer than the previous run. I personally think that this can probably be faster, so let's see if we can profile this application and figure out what is taking so much time in our source code that we have. Profiling in Writer can be done from the toolbar here, and there's different profiling modes that we can use. There's sampling, tracing, line by line, and timeline. We'll go into those in a future video, but for now let's select timeline and then start the profiler. What will happen is that the profiler will launch our application and attach to it. Startup takes a little bit longer because of course it has to attach and start collecting all of the data, and then our application simply runs as normal. And once it finishes, we will get the opportunity to investigate and look at a performance profiling snapshot in the IDE. Our application run has now finished, and we can now dive into the snapshot that was captured by the profiler. In the snapshot, we will see all of the different methods that have been called and how much time they took in general. And we also get, because we had the timeline filtering or timeline profiling active, we can also do filters on subsystems. So for example, we can figure out where time was spent in terms of file I/O, which in this case should be fairly limited because all we are doing is reading from this Sudoku text file. We can also filter on, for example, just-in-time compilation, on garbage collection weights, and so on. If you have a database connection, you'll also see database queries and database as a subsystem there, so you can see where most time is spent. Now in this case, let's not dive into the results too much, but we can already see that the solve method takes most of the time, in this case close to 14 seconds, so that's probably the one that we should start optimizing. In our next video, we will look at the different profiling modes and then dive into the actual data so we can start looking at what is going on in the application.